Hello, it's Mr. Van Dong here again with your Week 3 distance learning for math instruction at Sharpstein Elementary School. Hope you had a great spring break. We're going to dive right back into math right now. We're kind of going to go back to the past. You're going to page 813 for lesson 3 in chapter 11. This is use logical reasoning. Now, I've been putting logic puzzles in your math choice packets, and I hope you've tried a couple of them. This is the same type of idea, but not all the problems will look like the logic puzzle problems. Logic, by the way, is knowledge from reasoning. The root word here being like logos, which is a Greek root, which has to do with knowledge. So knowledge from reasoning. When you know something, but you haven't actually been told that thing. So for example, if I tell you that, well, we'll just get to some problems. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, so I think I've shown everybody how to do those logic puzzles that I've been sending home. If you didn't know how to do them, this will help with that. So lesson 3, chapter 11. Let's read the problem together and go from there. 3 friends each measured their height, and their heights are 4 feet 10 inches, 4 feet 9 inches, and 4 feet 7 inches. Use the clues to determine the height in inches of each person. And then there's 3 clues below. So again, we know what heights 3 friends are, and we're going to be matching those heights to the friends based on the clues. It's not unlike playing the board game Clue, which if you have is also a game of logical deduction, where you can learn things without ever actually truly being shown somebody else's card. I should stop talking about Clue because maybe not everybody's played it. If you haven't and you can, please do. Anyway, so our heights are 4 feet 10 inches. And they put this lesson like in the measurement section, and it has nothing to do with measurement. It's just that all the problems are measurement themed, and that's why we skipped over it. And we're going back now before we go into the metric system. There's somebody who's 4 feet 9 inches, and there's somebody who's 4 feet 7 inches. And I sort of lied because we are going to do some math to convert some of these just to straight inches and things like that. Okay, and then the friends are Elliot, Nicole, and Jorge. It says that in the clues. I just skipped down. So we've got Elliot, 2 L's, Nicole without an H, and Jorge. Our goal is to match the heights. We're going to read all 3 clues first to see if they just give us any freebies, because sometimes like the first clue is really hard and the last clue is like, this person's this tall. So let's read all the clues. Elliot is taller than Jorge. Nicole is 3 inches taller than the shortest person. Elliot is 57 inches tall. So that's where we've got a big clue there. We know how tall Elliot is if we convert these to inches. So we got to first say, I would do that clue first personally. There are other clues that you could do. But personally, I would start with, well, if we know exactly how tall Elliot is, let's figure that one out. Every foot is inches tall. 12, you all said. I'm sure you 1 foot is 12 inches. So if we've got 4 groups of 12, that's 12 times 4 to know how many inches are in 4 feet. When we multiply by 4, if we're going to do 4 groups of 12, we can stack it, but we also can double. 12 doubled is 24. 24 doubled is 48. So I know that each of these is 48 inches. And so I just need to think, well, which of these, when put together, will be Elliot's height? Again, Elliot is 57 inches tall. 48 plus 10 is 58. So that's just a little too tall. 1 inch less than that will be 57. So this is 57 inches, and maybe I'll make a little note of that right here. And it goes with Elliot. And I said that this was 58 inches. I might as well make that note just in case it's relevant. It might not matter, but that way I don't have to, if it is, I don't have to go back. It's already there. We know Elliot is 57 inches tall, which makes him the middle one, okay? Now, Elliot is taller than Jorge is our very first clue. Why did I go back to that clue? Because it was at the top and I read it again. And that actually tells us something really important. If Elliot is taller than Jorge, could Jorge be 4 feet 10 inches tall? No, because he would be taller. Elliot is taller. Therefore, Jorge has to be 4 feet 7 inches tall. And we don't even have to read that middle clue again. The only possible option is that Nicole is the tallest. We could double check with that center clue to make sure that we didn't make any mistakes, which is a good idea, and we're going to do right now. The center clue being that Nicole is 3 inches taller than the shortest person. Is there a gap of 3 inches here? There is. And in fact, we could have done that clue first because that is the only gap of 3 inches. So the first clue could have told us that Nicole was the tallest one. This is the middle clue. We could have done the middle clue first, which would have told us Nicole was tallest. And then we could have done the first clue to know that Elliot had to be taller than Jorge, and we actually wouldn't have had to do any conversion. But I wanted to do some conversion anyway because it's good practice, right? You guys have been out of practice for a week, so we got to do it anyway. All right, so that's our solution. The answer to the question is, well, the question is specifically, you know what? Ironically, it's okay, so it's not a question. Determine the height in inches of each person. Well, it's a good thing I reread the question. Mr. Van Dong, I almost missed it because we thought we were done. We showed all our work here. But the question is, how tall in inches is each person? Glad that I went back and checked, aren't you? Yeah. So, how convenient that I wrote that down earlier. And here for the last one, I know that we've got 48 inches plus 7, or I could do 3 inches less than this top one. And there's a bunch of ways to know that it's 55 inches. Now I've got these all paired up. Elliot, 57 inches. Nicole, 58 inches. Jorge, 55 inches. Woohoo! All right, let's do the next one. So again, that was, we knew those things because of our reasoning. Our thinking led us to the answer, not because of any formulas, not because of getting rulers out, but because of using clues and determining reasonable answers from reasoning. Okay, turn the page. Next, reading along with me on page 814, there's a puppy. It says, who am I? And I hope that's what we're doing. I want to find out what this puppy is. 3 dogs are sitting in a line. Rocky is not last. Coco is in front of the tallest dog. Marley is sitting directly behind Rocky. List the dogs in order from first to last. That is a pretty neat question because the first time you read it, you're like, wait, what? There's no way there's enough information. Hint. All of these problems have enough information to solve them. Okay, so I need to reread it again. I have a general understanding of what's going on. There's 3 dogs sitting in a row. I got to figure out what order they're in, listing the dogs from first to last. So I'm going to make a little chart here. I know that one of the dogs will be in first position, one of the dogs will be in the second position, and one of the dogs will be in the third position. And then I need the dogs' names. Up here, we've got Rocky, we've got Coco, and we've got Marley. Good old RCM. And this should look pretty familiar. Oh man, it's like a logic puzzle that we've been doing in our math choice packets. So I'm going to be able to use this chart and logical reasoning to solve the problem as I reread the question again. 3 dogs are sitting in a line. Check. Rocky is not last. Rocky is not last. He's not last. So I put an X there because it's not him. He's not last. Coco is in front of the tallest dog. Now that tallest dog is something called a red herring. A red herring is an idiom that has nothing to do with anything. It's not actually a fish. A red herring is a distraction in a problem. So red herring, if you hear somebody say, it's just a red herring, it's meant to be a distraction. That tallest dog bit doesn't seem to be important. What is important about that clue is that Coco is in front of another dog. If Coco's in front of another dog, could Coco be last? Aha! No, Coco can't be last because Coco's in front of another dog. That is a good example of knowledge from reasoning, a good logical decision making. All right, Marley is sitting directly behind Rocky. Well, could Marley be first? If Marley's sitting behind Rocky, then Marley cannot be sitting in the first position. Okay, interesting. Some of you may have already noticed something up here and are shouting, I know where Marley's sitting. It's fine, we're going to read all the clues and then we're going to go to our chart. That's all it says. List the dogs in order from first to last. Now, if we're strictly reading the clues, we might think we don't have enough information. But if we use our table, we can see if instead of asking which dog is in what position, we could say, who could be in first position? Rocky or Coco? Okay. Who could be in second position? Could be anyone. Who could be in third position? Oh, it's not possible for Rocky or Coco to be in the third position. So it has to be, absolutely must be, Marley. Okay. I think it's Marley, right? Yeah, Marley is sitting there. So Marley's not taking up 2 positions, just in 1. So now that was a really important step, using my chart to say Marley has to be in third position. Now let's reread the last clue that they gave us. Marley is sitting directly behind Rocky. Well, Rocky must be in second position. Okay, that means Coco's not. That means Rocky's not sitting in the first position, so Coco must be in the first. Now, if I just leave, this is excellent work I've shown, but I've not answered the question. The question is, list the dogs in order from first to last. So, Coco, Rocky, and Marley is my final answer. There's not a guy like a warm-up problem in this one for you to do, other than the ones that we've done here together. So go ahead and get started on the next 2 pages here, showing your work one way or another. A lot of them, this will be the way to go. In other ones, you might make a chart like I did, but you're going to want to jot down some notes as you're working through these problems. And you do have enough information for every single one of them. So if you come up against one and you're like, it's not enough, you're just not seeing something, maybe move on and come back to it or something like that. But yeah, do the pages 815 and 816. And if you finish early, cool, move on to the next thing. And if you don't finish in 45 minutes minus the length of this video, that's also totally cool. And then move on to the next thing. Miss you guys. Hope you're well. And we'll see you tomorrow.